Shalom, shalom, Israel. It's no saint left behind. You know, I'm coming to you and show you about what's going on with this American currency, man. This dollar is dropping, man. So I advise y'all, you know, if you're not calling on Yahweh or Yahweh Shai, you know, in the name of the Father and the Son, it's about time you take your paper money, which is a promissory note, and start investing in you some silver and some gold, you know, because pretty soon they about to change this thing into the mark of the beast. The American dollar is falling, man. The economy is falling. Nobody is using the petro dollar, which is the American dollar, no more. Everybody's turning their back on the United States. So I advise you, you know, pay close attention to this video and get yourself together, man. You better learn who Yahweh and Yahweh Shai is, man. The Father and the Son. And I just want to start with saying all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Kwadash, double honors to the apostles, a great millstone who rule well. All right, shalom to the Akims out there that's teaching likewise, you know, and that's been faithful in rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, you know, and that's teaching his word. All right, let's go ahead and get started, man.
Joined by the host of RT's Kaiser Report, Max Kaiser. Max, good evening. Thanks for coming on. We were hearing there that China looks set then to challenge the petrodollar. Why does Beijing feel the need to do this?
Well, first of all, they're very brave to do this because countries that have tried to exit the oil-dollar matrix have met terrible ends. Of course, Saddam Hussein wanted to trade oil in euros, so he was killed. You had Muammar Gaddafi wanted to trade his energy in something other than U.S. dollars. He was killed. So the track record here is pretty dire. So kudos to China for taking this project on. And, of course, they are rumored to be the big buyer in the Aramco offering of their...
Did you hear what he said? He said that, you know, when Gaddafi tried to start his own currency, you know, the Clintons, you know, they went ahead and had Gaddafi, you know, tucking out. They went ahead and killed, you know, the United States went and killed Gaddafi. Then Saddam Hussein, what is his name? Saddam Hussein, whatever his name is, Saddam, you know, Saddam, whatever, I can't even say his name right now, but the little Iraqi, you know, he tried to do the same thing, Saddam Hussein, and they put him to death. But China is already doing it, man. China done stepped out and started doing it. Russia got their back. Turkey had their back now. Pretty soon, Saudi Arabia going to jump on board later on. But so that let you know right now we're in a trade war, you know, and it's going to be a physical war pretty soon too. You know, they got this, they about to start doing this military draft. So I'm telling y'all, this thing is about to go down. We're going to listen to a little bit more. Then we're going to get a little word and keep going.
State oil facilities coming down the pike. So this makes sense in a geopolitical sense in terms of you've got China and Russia and the Saudis are looking to escape the U.S. dollar hegemony. They're looking to de-dollarize. That's a concept we see all over the world right now as countries want to escape from the U.S. military-industrial complex. These countries around the world are tired of funding America's military adventurism by being a party to the empire of debt, as it's known around the world, the U.S. dollar, and they want to split off. They want their autonomy. China wants autonomy. Russia wants autonomy. Iran wants autonomy. They don't want to be ruled over by the U.S. dollar anymore. So this gives them away this contract, futures contract based in yuan for oil, convertible into gold, means that these countries can finally, and it's been in place since the end of World War II, escape the Bretton Woods U.S. dollar hegemony, empire of debt, supremacy, world reserve currency, that is the U.S. dollar. And
see, what a lot of people don't know is like if outside of the United States, if people doing trade, they had to use the U.S. dollar, especially when they did oil trade, you know, which is called the petrodollar. You know, so they had to use the U.S. dollar to do trades with, you know, imports and exports, you know. But now nobody is using the petrodollar. You know, China got the petro yuan. You know, people are using the China Petro One now. Everybody's moving to gold and oil trade. I mean, gold and silver trade. You know, everybody's backing away from the American dollar, man. So right now, y'all might not see the effect of it, but I'm pretty sure by the end of the year, you'll see how this economy falling. And they're going to push money out there, man, which is inflation? They're going to do an inflation, man, around the beginning of the year. And after that, everything is going to drop. I mean, it's going to be devastating out here, people. So if you don't know Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, you're going to be in big trouble.
A new beginning, I think.
Is there anything then that the US can do about this? Because it's not going to be happy that it's going to lose the petrodollar. So how would you expect it to fight back?
Well, they're exactly right. They will fight back. They will start a war. You know, maybe they'll start a war between Japan and China. You know, maybe they'll start a war with North Korea. You know, America will do anything to keep the U.S. dollar as world reserve currency. They will invade.
So that's the key. America will start a war. This country will go to war. Right now, America is already at war, which is called a trade war. You know, they're at a trade war right now. That's why they're putting all these tariffs and sanctions on these other countries. These tariffs is nothing but taxes on the imported goods, you know, into the United States. And so, and then they putting sanctions on these other countries. So the United States is already at war with multiple countries: Iran, Turkey, China, Russia, North Korea. So they are, because Venezuela, Mexico, Canada, they putting sanctions, Britain, Europe, Germany, they putting sanctions on these countries. And then these trade wars with the tariff, these taxes. So it's already at war right now. Let's get a scripture, matter of fact, since that came up. Let's go to Mark. Let's go to Mark. Let's get a scripture out of Mark. Mark 13:7. And it says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled. And so this is Yahweh Shai written in red, who you equally call Jesus. He's talking to his elect. You know, he's talking to the men that's sighing and crying and that's out here teaching his word and been faithful and rehearsing these laws, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability. So he said, when you shall hear of wars and rumors of war, be ye not troubled. For such things must needs to be, but the end shall not yet be. So right now we're already seeing, hearing about wars and rumors of wars. So that's already going on. Verse 8, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. All right, and that's what's going on right now. Nations is rising against nations and kingdoms are rising against kingdoms. That's why the United States is putting these sanctions on Iran and Russia and North Korea and all these other countries. And kingdom against kingdom. So that's why they got this this turf war going on. You know, they taxing the imports and exports. You know, they taxing the goods. They're putting the turfs on the goods. So this is already taking place, man. You know, prophecy is standing and it shows true. This word is standing alone and it shows truth, man. Let me keep reading. And there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. So we already got these earthquakes going on everywhere. We got famines in mad places in the world. Venezuela. I mean, just keep naming North Korea, Iran right now. Just keep naming them, man, because all these sanctions. You know, that's famines in the land. And troubles. The troubles are, you know, people are rioting, looting. You got people marching. These are troubles, man. They're going against their government. These are the beginnings of sorrows. And the beginning of sorrows is beginnings of what? Jacob's trouble. We're already there, man. So, I mean, it's time for y'all to get right. Because you're not feeling it right now doesn't mean nothing. You're about to feel the heat. I'm telling you.
A country like Afghanistan, they'll stop at nothing because this is the basis of the U.S. empire. It's not land-based.
He said this is the base of the U.S. empire. They will stop at nothing. You see what they did to Afghanistan, Iraq. I mean, just think about what they did all around the world, man. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do nothing but cause havoc.
It's not based on material goods. It's based on rent seeking. It's based on lending dollars, getting that income, and then when countries can't pay, they dismantle the assets and take them over. We saw in Latin America, South America. This is how America built its empire. The countries that are resistant to America's financial cartel are Russia, China, Iran. So now
did you hear about what he said, how they did to these other countries, how they went in Venezuela and all these countries in Afghanistan and just, took over. Let me rewind it. And took over these countries. They loaned them money. They couldn't pay them. Then they took over. Let me rewind this right quick.
Countries that are resistant to America's financial cartel are Russia, China, Iran. Dollars, getting that income, and then when countries can't pay, they dismantle the stop.
Okay, this is what I want right here.
But nothing, because this is the basis of the U.S. empire. It's not land-based. It's not based on material goods. It's based on rent seeking. It's based on lending dollars, getting that income, and then when countries can't pay, they dismantle the assets and take them over. We saw in Latin America, South America. This is how America...
So you hear what he said? He said they put this money out there to these countries, lend them money, and then when they can't pay them back, they'll dismantle the countries and take over the countries. And I got a wonderful scripture for this. And it's Micah. Let's go to Micah right quick, man. This word stands alone. I'm telling you, it's true. Micah 1. And I'm going to read 2, 1 and 2, but I'm going to start at chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Now, who is this? Who devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds? Everybody else got to be at work. Nobody but the Edomites, the so-called Caucasians. They putting sin out there. They working evil upon their bed. You just hear what he said. They loan out this money, and once these countries can't pay them back, they go in and dismantle them. And then what? Put their own puppet governments in there and take their lands. He says, I'm going to read it start over. Woe to them that devise evil and that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, which are the Edomites, so-called white man. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. Who is that? That's the so-called white man, the Edomites. They devise all these iniquities and work all this evil upon their bed. While they're in their bed, they're thinking about all the evil they're going to do to all these people and countries. And when they wake up in the morning, they practice it. That means they go do it. They drop bombs on these countries. They go take these countries' resources, take their government officials out of the place, put their own puppet governments in there. Why? Because it is in the power of their hand. You see that? Verse 2, and they covet fields and take them by violence. So, they take people's lands, homes by violence, and houses, and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. So they take everything from you, man. Everything your ancestors left to you, they take it. They take your house. They oppress you. They do this to every country in the world. They've been doing it. That's why America got what they got. And the Most High is done with America. For the sins of these Edomites have reached to the heavens, and now their judgment must come upon them. I'm going to go to a different video.
Of the American dollar as a pillar of monetary stability around the world.
The relationship between the United States and Turkey has taken another gigantic hit. It appears Turkey has joined the other powerhouses of the Eastern world, Russia and China, by preparing for economic warfare against the United States in the future. At the very least, it strongly symbolizes the end of the 70-year alliance between Turkey and the United States. Turkey has decided to pull all of its gold reserves from the US Federal Reserve System. The Central Bank of Turkey requested that the 220 tons of gold be returned to Turkey. At the same time, two Turkish banks, Ziraat and Vakif Bank, chose to remove their 95 ton of gold from the Federal Reserve as well. The reason for this move is believed.
So do you see what's going on? Everybody is turning their back on the United States. And that's what the Bible tells you, man. The Bible tells you that, nation's going to rise up against nation, but also tell us that that their allies would turn against them. Turkey was a 70-year ally to the United States. Now, Turkey is no longer dealing with the United States. And why is that? Let me show you why. Let's go to Nahum. Let's go to Nahum 3 and 5. Chapter 3, verse 5. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts." So the Most High Yahweh is against America, which is Egypt, which is Nineveh, which is Syria, which is Babylon, which is everything. You know what I'm saying? America's all these spiritual people, all these places spiritually in one. It says, "Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame." And so that's what the Most High is doing. See, the Most High is making America vulnerable. Yahweh is showing these nations all the filth and nakedness of America, man. All the wickedness that America has done. Now these nations finally see it, because the Most High has took the blinds off these nations. That's why these nations is turning against America. All these nations know that America has who? The 12 tribes of Israel in captivity. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the 12 tribes of Israel. The nations know that America has the Most High's chosen people, the apple of his eye, in captivity. They see the wickedness of America now. They watch America making all these nations accept homosexuality. They watch America's making these women accept making these nations accept their democracy. Where in other countries, like, women know their places in other countries besides in America. But in these countries, America is telling them, now listen, you got to make these women 50-50. Women got to have the same rights you have. These women, they got to be able to drive. They ain't got to be able to cover their face up. They can wear pants. They ain't got to wear dresses. See, America is going around and trying to make people accept their ways of living, their democracy, when their whole custom goes against everything that's in America. Bestiality, homosexuality. A woman is above a man in America. That ain't nowhere else in the world. Verse 6, "And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock." See, everybody America is a gazing stock, man. Everybody is watching America fall. They're watching the filth that's going on in this land, man. This great melting pot. They see that the Most High is against this place. And the Most High is turning all the nations against America. That's why America is becoming a gazing stock, man. Everybody's leaving America. You see, Turkey just took all their gold out of the American banks. And they who Turkey is joining? Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. All these countries are coming together. Why? Because they're going to go against America. Verse 7, "And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee." See, everybody's fleeing from America. China's not an ally. Russia's not an ally. North Korea is not an ally. Japan is leaving America. The UN, which is Britain and Europe and Germany, all these places are leaving America. They're against America. Iran, Afghanistan, Iraq. I can name these countries all day long. Verse 7, "And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee." Everybody's fleeing from the United States. Babylon. "And say, Nineveh is laid waste," because America is about to destroy this place. And who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? You know, America's about to do, the Heavenly Father Yahweh is about to lay America waste. He's about to do away with America, man. With fire. Let's go back to this video.
To be in anticipation of the US sanctions on Turkey. This is the US's way of punishing Turkey for not going along with the plans in Syria and for becoming closer allies with Russia, China, and Iran.
Prepare for an economic collapse. Dajjalic dollar cannot be trusted. Do not trust the Dajjalic dollar.
A sudden dollar collapse would create global economic turmoil. Investors would rush to other currencies such as the euro or other assets such as gold and commodities. Demand for treasuries would plummet and interest rates would rise. US imports prices would skyrocket, causing inflation. The United States exports would be dirt cheap, giving the economy a brief boost. But in the long run, inflation, high interest rates, and volatility would strangle possible business growth. Unemployment would worsen, sending the United States back into recession, or even worse, a depression.
Jackson, a citizen of the wealthiest country the world has ever known. And yet, he's clothed in handouts. His parents can't find work.
See how?
They have no home of their own. And every morning, they come to the Manor House charity, where the poor of Baltimore meet for a little food, warmth, and compassion.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump. Together we will determine the course of America and the world.
You hear what this fool say? He gonna determine the course of America and he gonna determine the course of the world. Is he crazy? Let me show y'all something, man. Let me show y'all America's debt. Look, this is the U.S. national debt clock. This is what's going on right now. This is the debt of America. Let me blow this up so you can see it. You see that right there? It says U.S. national debt. 21 trillion. I don't even know the numbers. I know America's over $21 trillion in debt, man. You see that? 21,349,880,000,000, 160 something. Where they keep going, the numbers is going. The debt is rising. This is the United States national debt. See that? It's in the red, 21 trillion. And it's really more than that, man. It's really more than that. Now let's slide over here. And over here, I'll put this back. Over here is the federal, this is the U.S. federal tax revenue, which is what? 3 trillion. Now let's go back over here. And this is the U.S. federal spending, which is 4 trillion. But look at that debt, that U.S. national debt, man. $22 trillion. It's really more than that. But so America is about to fall, people. Y'all better take heed. Babylon is falling.
The United States is not a country. It's a massive shopping center.
I can't get that out of my head. This nigga tell me he's going to determine the ways of... Oh, let's read. Listen to this nigga. He's going to determine the course of the world.
Together we will determine the course of America and the world.
He think see, the Bible said that he was seen to make himself like God. That's what Satan does. The devil does, the deceiver, the Edomites, so-called white man.
The United States is not a country. It's a massive shopping center. It makes wars to take other people's resources. It controls the media globally and has puppet states all over the world. But today, things are changing. As Russia, China, Turkey and Iran move towards checkmating America, things aren't looking so great for the dollar. So protect yourself from a dollar collapse. Keep your assets well diversified by...
See, everybody's against the United States, and America is falling. Let me get another script. I got a scripture, and I got a little 50-second video I'm going to show you, and I'm going to end this thing. Excuse me, Salaki. I'm going to go to Revelations. Revelations, what, 18 and 1. It says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." Verse 2, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great, which is America, the United States, is falling, and is become the habitation of devils, in the hold of every foul spirit, in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Verse 3, "For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication." So, like I was saying, America has, destroyed every land, went and took their resources, placed their democracy there, put their puppet governments there. So everybody was going to the course and the beat of America. They was drinking of her wine. I'm going to continue. "And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her." That means they accepted the American way in these other countries. And they went along with the American plan, the wickedness and evilness of America. I'm going to continue. "And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies." That's why China is rich, because of America. All these countries are rich because of what? America. Because what? Like we just said, you just heard in that video, that America is nothing but a great big, it's not a state, it's just a great big shopping center. Everything is imported into America, and they make their money off the people in America, which so-called Negroes, Hispanic, and Native Americans, which are the 12 tribes of Israel, are the brokest people in America, but are the number one consumers. So all these nations are getting rich off of us. Look in your community. Who you see in your community? The Moabites, which are your Chinese, your Red Dot Arabs, the Elamites. You got your Africans in this community. And all of them getting paid off us. But what are they doing? They beating the crap out you so-called nigger woman. You black women in these salons. These Chinese women and men are, most of these women, they are on y'all. They beating y'all women up in these nail salons. That's them oppressing you. So they rich. They getting rich. They got rich off us. But now America has turned these countries against. The Most High Yahweh has turned all these countries against America, and they about to destroy them. I'm go to this video and I'm in this thing. And this video was just of Turkey. Turkey is burning the U.S. dollar and blowing their nose with it. So it lets you know American money is no good, man. Don't believe what they're telling you on the news in America. The economy is falling. Babylon is falling. America is falling. It is falling.
Doları olan, avrosu olan kardeşlerim, sizler paralarınızı gidin TL'ye yatırın.
That was, see him blew his nose with the money, man. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all better wake up and get right now, man. You better come on to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, call on that real name, man. It's the only way you're going to be delivered out this place. Because they about to bring that mark of the beast in real heavy. You know, it's going to be a race route, martial law. After that, man, that's your ass.
When allergies stand.
Shalom, Israel.